I'm Lyrical. Hope you're doing all right today. It's Friday, which is album release day, and we've got KK's Priest Sermons of the Sinner debut album. So I don't think there's a lot to say. In other words, people know a lot about this already. This is obviously the project by KK Downing, not in Judas Priest anymore. The band's called KK's Priest. Not everyone's favourite name. Who gives a shit? Let's just get on with the review. So, in the band, apart from obviously KK Downing on guitar, you got Tim Ripper Owens on vocals, you've got AJ Mills on the other guitar, you've got Tony Newton on the bass, and Sean Elg on the drums. Perhaps the simplest names I've ever had to pronounce. I'm happy about that, which is very cool indeed. So this came out on EX1 Records today, October the 1st. Now, you've heard 4 singles, I think, already. Is it 4 or 5? There's a lot of singles anyway been released, especially on a 10-track album. So you're not getting a lot of new music on top of what you probably heard already. But what you get on top of what you heard already is in exactly the same vein. If you love those singles, you're going to love the album. In fact, you might love it even a little bit more, because I do. So there's 10 tracks to talk about, like I said. This is just guitar heaven, this album. KK Downing and AJ Mills. Man, there's solo after solo, there's extended solos, there's solos where they swap, there's solos where they do twin lead in the middle, then they come back out, then they join it again. It's just amazing. There's soloing everywhere on this album. If you're a guitar nut, you're going to love this album, and you probably expect that from the singles especially, and because KK Downing is in the band, you're going to know that it's going to be a metal album with solos. But not only that, you get some great songs here. It is really good for the live situation, a lot of these songs. I'll go through them track by track, but you can imagine a gig, these songs are going to go down a storm, apart from probably what they're going to pull out of the Judas Priest catalogue. So AJ Mills matches KK Downing. He is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant guitarist. They're both amazing. Tony Newton and Sean Elg, so the bass and the drums are just fantastic. They both do a great job. You've obviously, like I said, if you're following this band, you would have heard how good they are on those singles. They just keep it really tight, just how you want metal to be. There's quite a few fast tracks on here, and they just pummel the fuck out of the drums and the bass. Very cool rhythm section, just keeping it so tight. And it sort of gives the guitar and the vocals a chance to just fucking show off, basically. This is a great album. I love it. It's fun. It's metal. It takes you back to a simpler time, probably. 80s metal through and through. Just amazing. The production as well is quite basic. Probably what KK Downing wanted. It's got that sort of real basic drum, guitar, bass, vocal, stripped down sort of sound. But what it has got as well on those solos, it's got exactly what you want, because the production really brings that out, them solos as well. It feels like you can hear them picking every note at those solos, and it's just amazing. So I want to just talk about Tim Ripper Owens. I love Tim Ripper Owens. I think he's got a great voice. He obviously resembles Halford. That's a given, and that's probably why he got given the Priest chance all them years back as well. But I think he's just fantastic. Obviously the heights he can hit, I think his lower range is really good. I think he's got everything you want from a metal vocalist. I mean, I first heard him, apart from on those Priest albums, the most amazing performance I've heard him on, which is one of my best vocal performances I think ever on an album, was Icethurf's Glorious Burden. So check that album out. That's just amazing, and Tim Ripper Owens just kicks ass on that. Anyway, he's still kicking ass to this day like it was 25 years ago, which is quite amazing. Not every vocalist keeps hold of their voice, especially when you can sing at the heights that Tim Ripper Owens does. I hope he settles into this band. I hope the band settle down and make it a long project and it's not just an album and gone. I hope they just extend, do 3 or 4 or 5 albums, whatever it is. I hope it just doesn't stay at this, because this is a great metal album. So musically, it's just what you expect. Absolutely, like I said, back to a simpler time metal. Lyrically, this has taken a little bit of stick. I can't understand why, to tell you the truth. You know what you're getting. It's also take you back to a simpler time metal. And lyrically, it's not going to win any awards to be the most abstract fucking double meaning lyrics. You only have to look at the song titles to know what you're going to get. And it's just a fun metal album, which has got some outstanding musicianship on it. Just amazing. So, track by track. Track 1, Incarnation, just a 1-minute narration intro. Like I said, some talking on it. Obviously, it's just the start of the album. I actually love it when metal albums have a little intro. I just think it builds you up for what's to come. And then we go into Hellfire Thunderbolt, which was obviously a single. I've said quite a bit about. I've reacted to every single song now that's come out before the album, so I don't need to go into great detail. And everyone probably knows about the singles and has heard them anyway. But Hellfire Thunderbolt is a brilliant way to start the album. Half galloping metal riff, Ripper with that high pitched metal scream vocal, great solos that includes the guys swapping, and twin lead parts in the middle that are amazing. They swap nearly all the time in all these tracks and just showcase how good they are. Proper metal tune to kick the album off. Great track. Next is Sermons of the Sinner, another single. You get like a bit of a church choir creepy bit at the beginning, and then you go into that Painkiller-esque drum feel before to get you into the song, and it does match that sort of Painkiller song, which I love. Painkiller, by the way, obviously it's a classic metal tune, and this has got a lot of elements of that. Ripper singing that high-pitched vocal again, amazing solos throughout, extended solos with the two swapping about. We get a bit of a reprieve. There's an epic sort of part comes 2/3 of the way through, and great solos again over that sort of slower part, which I love. True metal again, brilliant. Right. Obviously, the names were easy to pronounce. Now I've got a title that's not. So, Sacerdota y Diablo, maybe. So, another solid metal track. Medium pace this time with some cool guitar parts between the vocals. I love the section where it sort of changes up about 2 minutes in with a great fast, like frenetic riff. Then we get the two guitarists trading off again with a solo in. Ripper sounds great here, by the way, as he does throughout the album, giving us that amazing, menacing delivery. Some cool twin lead parts too. A brilliant song. Raise Your Fist is next. This was a single. More classic metal-esque riffs for a real crowd-pleasing track, this one. This is just, I mean, they all are, but I could just imagine this in the live situation. Obviously, as I said, lyrically, this ain't no fucking abstract form of art. We're just gonna give it to Raise Your Fist for metal. That's what it is. It's fun. Plain and simple, metal's here, and we're gonna give it to you. That's what they're saying. So a simpler time, isn't it? Like I said, I love the whoa-whoas in this, that Maiden-esque and Priesty sort of whoa-whoas going on here. A highlight for me, this track actually. I absolutely love it, and it's grown on me. It really has. Brothers of the Road is the next song. This was a single as well. Another great chugging metal riff. Again, lyrically, who cares? Simpler time in it. This needs to be played live and loud. This is just one of those songs. Such a fun track. You can't help but you like that with this chug in this song. Love the solos again, in and out of those twin leads. Then we get the first of two sort of epic long tracks. This is metal through and through, 8 minutes and 13 seconds. A great track. An acoustic guitar and Ripper starts this off. Before we go into this epic track, we get sort of a slow heaven and hell rhythm part through the verses, which I love. Ripper's vocals here are amazing. Hearing him go from an almost talking part and then exploding into that great powerful voice he has. It's absolutely amazing. 3 minute mark, the sort of track slows down for the solos, and again, face melting, shredding solos. A very cool part with the guys twin leading before we go back into the track with a quiet part, which sort of matched the beginning of the song, but it's extended this time, with some sort of great flamenco style acoustic guitar playing before Ripper joins in and it builds back up into the track. Fucking epic track. It's brilliant. Metal through and through. Like I said, the titles. Look at the titles and you know what you're going to get. Track 8 is Wild and Free. Back into the fast-paced metal this time. Back to the basics, 80s fist-pumping stuff. Another one you can just imagine at a European metal festival. It's just brilliant for that. I know all the solos have been amazing, but when I heard this one, I don't know, it just blew me away. The shredding in this solo is just mental. Great track, Wild and Free. Hell for the Priest is next, a medium to fast-paced song. Again, a top track for me, this one. Ripper sounds amazing in the intro to this one. And you get those sort of overlaid vocals that he does. So he does the lower and the higher sort of harmonizing stuff. And then we get back into the metal again. So love the technical trickery between all the chords in this song. The guitar work is amazing. Probably my favorite song for that real trickery between the actual rhythm sections. Some great screams from Ripper here. An amazing solo section yet again. A brilliant track. And then we end on Return of the Sentinel. So this is the longest song on the album, 8 minutes and 59 seconds long. It doesn't seem like it though. Of course, the great heavy riffing continues on this epic medium paced track. I love the chorus. It sort of slightly slows down and it sort of projects the heaviness even more. 2.5 minutes, we get the sort of first set of solos, which again are mind-blowing. Every single solo on this is just, you're like, wow, listen to that. It gets better and better. A beautiful acoustic passage at the 5.5 minute mark with vocals, and that sort of plays out the end of this track, this epic track, which closes out an album which all you metal fans will surely, this is what you want. You want metal to be more simple, but with the trickery, but easy to listen to, chuggy, really cool, melodic, huge choruses, metal with some great screaming, a great rhythm section, and above all, some brilliant guitar work throughout. Highly recommended this. If you love the singles, you're going to love this album. Like I said, you might love it even a little bit more because you get that epicness as well added to those brilliant singles we've already had. Highly recommended. Out today, October the 1st, KK's Priest, Sermons of the Sinner. Get it. I'll see you next time.